Hello, beautiful people. How are you? So it is your girl, Nikki, and I'm back with our second mini episode of our how to maintain our transition from being a full meat eater to a vegetarian, pescatarian, veganism, whatever that journey is for you. We're just talking about some of the tips that I've learned on my transition from meat eater to pescatarian to vegetarian, what helped me in this process and how to maintain my journey. So before we get into the video, if you are new, welcome to my channel. Welcome to the family. You can go ahead, take the time right now, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Definitely go ahead and hit that notification bell because like I said, this is a mini series, so you do not want to miss the next video when it comes out. We got 4 videos in this mini series, so we are on video number 2, series number 2. So wow. So with that, go ahead and hit that subscribe, hit that notification, share, like, and definitely comment. Let me know what you guys are really liking about this mini series, about these videos. If there's anything in particular that you guys are interested in that you want me to talk about, please put it in the comment section below. I keep saying description. Put it in the comment section below and I will definitely get to it and we will definitely talk about it, okay? So with that being said, if you are not new, but you have not yet subscribed, what are you waiting for, boo? We doing this together, aren't we? Like we on this journey together. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that notification so you don't miss the next video. And yeah, share, like, and comment, and let's get into this video. So our first video that we talked about in this mini series was posting your why. We talked about why that was so important, right? So now this particular video now, we are talking about meal prepping. I mean, a lot of people sleep on meal prepping. Don't sleep on it. This right here has saved me, okay? It has saved me through my transition. It saved me when I first started. It saves me now as I'm maintaining my transition, maintaining my journey. Meal prepping is so important. It is so important, especially when you are trying to foster this new relationship with food. It really does take a lot, you know, to really maintain this process. And well, I will say this, it takes a lot in the beginning. In the beginning, it takes a lot. But when you actually really get the hang of things and you're really getting comfortable with who you are and you're really finding your pace and your rhythm in this journey, in this process, it does not become as hard as it was in the beginning. So meal prepping definitely made things a lot easier for me when I was transitioning, and it still does in me maintaining. And I'm going to tell you why. So meal prepping for me does 3 things. Meal prepping saves me time, it saves me money, and it helps me to refrain from temptation. Okay, I'm going to say that one more time. Meal prepping saves me time, it saves me money, and it helps me to refrain from being tempted. So let's talk about how it saves me time. Now, if you're not familiar with, well, first of all, let's do that. But if you're not familiar with meal prepping, let me explain to you what that is. So meal prepping is basically when you create a batch meal or a big meal and you portion out that meal to last you for a certain amount of time. So let's say that you make a batch of curry chickpeas and potatoes. Is something that I often batch cook. So let's say that I'm batch cooking curry chickpeas and potatoes, also known as chana aloo. It's a Trinidadian dish. So when I batch cook that, I will then portion them out in these containers. So these right here are just basically meal prepping containers. You can find them at any store, Walmart, Kroger, Walgreens. They're pretty much everywhere. So even at the dollar store, they have them at the dollar store. So basically what you do is the way that this is set up, these are just the ones that I chose. Open this up. So the way that it looks, it's portioned. Okay. So you have your bigger portion here That's more so for your veggies, your greens, your salads, more of, you know, your whatever you're working towards, like whatever you're trying to your goal is. So for me, my goal is to kind of refrain from the carbs, but more so eating more greens, more salads. This is where I'm going to put that. All of my greens and everything that I'm really trying to get more intake of, I'm putting here. Now, this portion here is going to be more so for like your protein, for your rice, you know, the things, the carbs, things like that, the things that we're definitely wanting and needing to portion out, maybe minimizing our intake on. That's what this portion is for. So some people also use this for like desserts and things like that. That's fine, but this is basically for your meal prepping. So this is what it's going to look like. So when I make my chana aloo, I personally, this is just me, y'all might think it's nasty, but again, this is my journey. So me personally, I love to eat chana aloo with grapes. Okay, so what I would do is I would put maybe about a cup and a half of my chana aloo or my curry chickpeas here, and then I'd put just a few grapes here, and I would just close this up like that, put it in the fridge, and I would usually portion this out for maybe like 3 days. So I will portion out my food to last me for 3 days. I have 3 of these, and that's what I'm eating for dinner for the next 3 days, right? That is meal prepping. So let's get into how meal prepping saves me time. So just how I explained to you that if I meal prep chana aloo, that's what I'm eating for dinner for 3 days. That means I don't have to think about what I'm eating for the next 3 days. That means I don't have to cook for the next 3 days. That means I don't have to prep for the next 3 days. That means that I have more time to focus on other things that need to be done or other things that may take priority, as opposed to me trying to figure out what I'm going to cook for dinner for myself. Now, I also meal prep for my family, but that meal prep is more of a batch cooking prep as opposed to portionizing their meals. So I portionize my meals. That's how I meal prep for me. But for my family, I batch cook. So for example, right now in the deep freezer, we have a fully cooked pan of baked ziti that I've already cooked. It's already done. I just cooked it. I put it in a pan. I sealed it up. I put instructions on top on how to cook it, for how long in the oven, at what degree. That's dinner already prepped. That's how I meal prep for my family. So if you guys want to see a video on how I meal prep for my family, let me know. I will definitely do a video for you for that. So that's how it saves me time. It saves me time because I don't have to take the time to cook and figure out what I'm going to eat, or even just cook dinner, period. Like, I don't have to do that when I meal prep. This gives me 3 days to be able to to do other things that take priority. So it allows me to spend more time with my daughter with her schoolwork. It allows me to spend more time with my husband. It allows me to spend more time with other projects that I'm working on, as opposed to me always being in the kitchen cooking, right? So that's how it saves me time. So meal prepping is great for that. It saves me money because the amount of money that I would have spent on purchasing the ingredients to meal prep this meal for 3 days would buy me 1 meal at a fast food restaurant. That's how it saves me money. So instead of me taking $10 to buy 1 meal at a fast food restaurant, I can take that $10 and I can go out and buy me my chickpeas. I can buy me my curry. I can buy me a potato and cook all of that up. I already have my seasonings here. I cook all of that up and buy me a bag of grapes and still have money left over out of that $10. Like, that's how it saves me money. So meal prepping allows you to really become much more money conscious in where your money is going. So because I meal prep, and I try to meal prep as often as I can, really honestly for no more than maybe 4 days. I'll meal prep a meal for no more than 4 days. But it allows me to be more conscious on how I'm spending my money and where my money is going, especially when it comes to food. So because I meal prep, it causes me to be more conscious about how much money I'm spending on groceries. So if I know that I'm going to go to the grocery store, I'm only going to go to the grocery store to purchase the things that I know I'm going to need to meal prep with. Not just random things that I see in the store because I like it, I'm going to buy it. If it's not going to contribute to my meal prep, or if it's not something that I have on something that I'm going to show you later, I'm typically and probably not going to buy it. And that's how it saves me money. It allows me to be more money conscious about where my money is going, so that I'm more intentional about going to the grocery store. I'm more intentional about how much money I'm spending on groceries and how those groceries are being used, how they're being cooked. Like, how many of us will confess, right, that we've purchased a bag of spinach, a bag of kale, some vegetables or whatever, been sitting in our fridge for 2, 3, 4, 10 days, never been opened until it's spoiled, right? And then you feel bad about it, and it's like, oh man, I gotta do better. I gotta eat better. Oh, I'm gonna go buy me some spinach. You had spinach, but you didn't open it. You let it spoil. And now you're gonna go out and go buy more spinach to not open it again, to let it spoil again, right? So I'm guilty of it. Most of us are probably guilty of it. So what meal prepping does for me is it really holds me accountable on what I'm buying, what I'm putting in my fridge, what I'm eating on a regular or a constant basis, and what are staples that I need to have in my refrigerator or in my pantry. So there is, I'm sorry, just put my bun up and it's trying to come down. So there are certain meals or certain dishes that I make on a regular basis just because I prefer them, I love them, I like them, so I always make them. So for example, like a snack that I came across not too long ago, which has become a staple, is, what did I call it? I kind of named it how I make mine, but I called it it's like a strawberry maple rice cake, basically. So what it is just a rice cake. I personally use the caramel rice cakes. I don't like the plain ones. They're little. So it's a caramel rice cake. And I put some almond butter on top, a thin layer of almond butter. And then I'll either cut up some strawberries or some bananas, put that on top. I'll sprinkle a little cinnamon, and then I'll take some of my sugar-free maple syrup, and I might drizzle just a little bit on that, a little bit of that on there, and that's my snack. And when I tell y'all, that snack is so bomb. Oh my gosh, it is so, 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 so good. So because of that, and it's low in calorie, low in fat, great protein with the almond butter, like it's so good. So because of that, that's a staple. I always have to have rice cakes. I always have to have strawberries or bananas. I always have to have my sugar-free maple syrup. Like, I have to have those things. So when I go to the grocery store, I know that that's what I'm going to buy. I might not meal prep that. That's not a meal prepping meal, but it's the same thing with my meal prepped meals. Because I know that I meal prep chana aloo very often, I always make sure that I have potatoes on my grocery list. I'm always conscious of making sure to see how many potatoes I have. How many potatoes am I going to use? When do I need to go out and buy more? I always make sure that I have my curry seasoning. I always make sure that I have some cans of chickpeas or garbanzo beans, So those are staples for me because those are meals that I meal prep on a regular basis. So that's how it saves me money, because I become a lot more money conscious on where my money is going, especially at the grocery store. So the third thing is it helps me to refrain from being tempted. This might be a stretch for you, but it is something that definitely works for me. And I say that because I'm trying to figure out how to explain it. So for me, when I say being tempted to me is eating French fries. That's a temptation. Potatoes are a temptation. Like, I will kill some tater tots. I will kill some French fries, homemade or store-bought. I will kill some potatoes. Like, I love potatoes. And so when I meal prep, for example, I might meal prep some Brussels sprouts and asparagus with some peppers, right? Saute some onions and peppers together. I might cut up maybe some strawberries or some chickpeas on the side or something like that, right? Something really healthy. That's when I'm meal prepped. But when it's time for me to actually eat it, dinner time comes and I'm like, I do not want this. I really want some French fries. Because I know, one, I'm hungry. Two, I don't feel like waiting for the French fries to cook. And 3, because I know how much time and effort I put into meal prepping my food, I'm not going to eat them French fries. I'm going to eat the food that I meal prepped because I put my time and effort and energy into this meal prepping. I'm going to eat it, right? Because 1, and then 2, also 4, also because I know nobody else is going to eat it. Like, my family is not big on Brussels sprouts and asparagus like me. Like, they don't eat like I do. I'm the only vegetarian in my house. My children all still eat meat. My husband still eats meat. Like, everybody in my household still eats meat but me. So if I meal prep a meal like that, who's going to eat it but me? And I'm not about to let my food go to waste. I'm sorry, but I'm not doing it. I worked hard to cook this food, to go buy this food, I'm not wasting my money. So I'm going to eat it. So because I feel so passionate about me meal prepping and how much time and energy I put into it, I'm not going to allow my food to go to waste just because I want French fries, because I'm tempted to eat the French fries. Even though I know I really don't need the French fries. And to be honest, because I've cut back so much, it really wouldn't hurt if I did eat a few French fries. But at the same time, I'm trying to discipline myself. And that discipline might not be to not eat the French fries. The discipline might be for me to eat what I cooked. So that's the thing that we have to keep in mind, being disciplined in what we're cooking. So with that, that's what helps me to stay away from being tempted, to really gear away from the temptation and to just really stay committed to and being accountable for what I cooked, what I said I'm going to eat, especially if I'm doing other things that we're going to talk about in the next video, that will also hold me accountable. If I have to do those things as well, then I need to also stay committed. And that's what's going to help me to stay committed to my meal prepping. So in a nutshell, meal prepping will save you time from having to cook every single day, right? And it'll give you a lot more time and opportunity to stay focused and be more attentive to other priorities. Meal prepping saves you money because you become so much more money conscious and intentional about what you're buying and what you're putting in your refrigerator. Trust me, I'm telling y'all, it's easy for us to go to the grocery store and go in saying, oh, we're just going to buy one thing. We're just going to buy 2 things. And we come out spending $150. Like, on what? On stuff that you're not even going to eat. Like that bag of spinach you let spoil in the fridge, right? So instead of us doing that, instead of us being so nonchalant about where our money is going, especially when it comes to our groceries, we got to make sure that we're putting that same intentionality and attention to the foods that we're putting in our refrigerator. Okay? When you are on this transition, your priorities change. Okay. And for me, that was never a priority for me. What was in my refrigerator was never really a priority for me. I mean, for me, it was whatever's in there is in there. It is what it is. But now it's like, no, when I go in my fridge, I open my fridge with the intention of knowing that I have Brussels sprouts in there because I bought them, or my asparagus, or, my grapes, or my strawberries, or my tomatoes, or my avocado, or whatever it is, right? I'm so much more intentional on that. And that has all stemmed from my meal prepping. So it saves you time, it saves you money, and it really, really does help to refrain you from being tempted. It has really kept me accountable in making sure that I am staying focused and staying true to what it is that I'm cooking for myself to eat, and really showing myself that appreciation for all the effort and energy that I put into cooking this food. Like, to me, I can't get mad at anybody else if I cook food and it spoils, especially if it's food that only I'm eating. So I like to make sure that if I cooked it, I'm going to eat it. Okay. So that's what meal prepping does for me. And again, this is what a meal prepping container looks like. This is just the one that I have. They have so many other different ones that you can use. I forget what they're called, but they have like the other containers too. They have ones that are like split down the middle, so it portions out your food even more. There's a lot of different ones, so definitely pick one to your liking. But yeah, this meal prepping thing is serious, guys. And if you are wanting to stay on track and maintaining this transition and this walk, this journey that you're on, then meal prepping is definitely going to help you to do that. So that's all I got for you for this video. Oh, no, it's not. So I mentioned earlier that I was going to show you guys this. So this is like a little cheat sheet that I created. And again, that I created because it makes my life easier. It might seem a little extra to others, but at the end of the day, I didn't do it for you. I did it for me. So, this right here, these are my breakfast options, and I typed these up. I have it hanging on a little nail in my kitchen just because it makes my life so much easier. I'm all about working smarter, not harder. Okay. So when I get up in the morning and if I'm just like, oh, what do I want to eat? You know how you can get tired of eating the same thing? And it's just like, what do I want to eat? You know, I don't want to eat what I had yesterday or the day before or whatever. I go to my cheat sheet and I look at this and I'm like, ooh, dark chocolate granola with almond milk. I haven't had that in a while. Easy, right? You might see this and it's just like, oh, I just want something light. I don't want anything heavy. Like, what do I want to do? Oh, I can just do a smoothie. Oh, I can just do this. I mean, just, it's so easy. So this is my little cheat sheet. This is for breakfast. I typically don't meal prep breakfast. That's the other thing too. I often only meal prep lunch. I mean, not lunch, I'm sorry, dinner. I often only meal prep dinner. Just because I feel like breakfast and lunch is so easy that it's just something that I can just kind of whip up. It's not something that I'm going to want to eat day after day after day. So, so these are my dinner. That was my breakfast options. These are my snack options. This is my lunch options here. And then on the back, I have my dinner options. And this is, like I said, what I typically will meal prep. And then what I did do, I allowed myself some space on the back. So if I come across like a new recipe or even something that I may try on my own, something I just kind of made up and it was like bomb and oh, I gotta make this again, I write it down here. So I have this here. This is my little cheat sheet. And then I also have this little book that I've created. This is like my second Bible. So this is like just basic vegan and vegetarian recipes that I've created or that I've come across. So it's just things that I've tried out that I just thought was so delicious, or, you know, like I said, recipes that I come across. I am a writer. I'm that learner. I'm a concrete learner. I learn when I write. So instead of me just seeing something and screenshotting it, I'll write it out. So it does definitely, these are my smoothie recipes too. It does definitely help me. So I just jot down some recipes and things that, you know, I've had before. My chana aloo recipe that are just really good. And then when I go to the grocery store, if I can't remember exactly what I need to get, I just revert back to my recipes, or I'll just revert back to my little cheat sheet here and I'll see like what the ingredients are or what's in it. And I'll just go buy it. I'll meal prep and that's it, right? So that's just something, those are just things that maybe you want to try too, that may help you with this process in maintaining this journey, so that you can really get, until you get to that place where you feel comfortable enough to maybe not even have to do these things. But for me, like, I'm definitely at a place where I feel like I don't have to do it, but I do it because it makes my life easier. So because I feel like there's so many other things that are on my mind, so many other things that I'm thinking about. The last thing I want to be putting so much energy towards is, what am I going to eat for dinner? Right? I mean, again, that's where the meal prepping comes in. I go to my cheat sheet, and if I don't already have these ingredients, which typically I usually do because I'm so intentional about grocery shopping, get my ingredients, meal prep, cook it up, batch it, put it in them containers, and I got dinner for the next 3-4 days. Done. I don't even have to think about it. And on a good week, I can meal prep from Monday to Thursday, because Friday typically I don't cook anyway. But if it's something that I know that I really, really, really enjoy, I'll meal prep from Monday to Thursday. I don't have a problem with eating leftovers. That's never been an issue for me. So especially if it's something that I love. A breakfast that I may meal prep, maybe two that I may meal prep. One is overnight oats. I may meal prep that, which is basically me just making the overnight oats in a jar. I might make maybe 2 or 3 of those and have those for breakfast 3 days out the week. And then the other breakfast that I'm sorry for the smacking. The other breakfast that I may meal prep is a dish that I grew up eating. I come from a Jamaican household. So it's a dish that I grew up eating that I still eat now. It's called ackee and saltfish. So I would meal prep the ackee, and then the dish also has like onions and peppers and stuff already in it. So I would just cook the ackee with that with no saltfish. And so I would do that and meal prep that for maybe 2 days. And then I would eat it also with another Jamaican dish called callaloo. So I would do the ackee and callaloo for maybe 2 or 3 days for breakfast in the morning. And then sometimes I may eat it with pita bread. It's typically ate with, in Jamaica it's called food, but it's like fried dumpling, boiled banana, chocho, that type of stuff. But I typically don't eat that now. Like, I don't eat that anymore. I used to kill it, but I don't eat that anymore just because I'm on this health journey and I'm cutting back so much from the carbs, and because those are weaknesses to me. Like, I will kill some fried dumpling or some boiled dumpling. Like, I would kill it. But yam, banana, kill all of it. But because I'm staying away from that, so I don't usually eat it with that. I may eat it with like pita bread, or sometimes you might eat it with hard dough bread. So just a little snippet of some of the things that I typically will meal prep as far as breakfast is concerned. So, but other than that, like I said, that's all I have for you. That's it. That's it for this series, this video of this series. So again, if you are not familiar with my initial transition to vegetarian or pescatarian, like I said, I'm going to keep correcting myself because I feel like it's a pretty vast difference. So, but if you have not seen that video, definitely take a look in the description box, and if it's not there, please go ahead and go to my channel, click on that video. It talks about a lot of the things that I learned and some of the things that I really had to develop in order for me to initiate this transition, and how it's changed me and some of the things that I've learned throughout that transition. And so once you watch that video, definitely come back here to this mini series so you can see all about how to maintain that transition. So we already talked about posting your why. If you haven't seen that video, definitely check that video out next. And then this is our second video. Our next video that we have coming up is going to be the third part of our mini series, and that is going to be creating your food log. Huge, 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 huge. Big deal. You do not want to miss this video. Yeah, that's all I have for you guys. So I will see you guys in my next video. Bye. Hey guys, so I wanted to come on and show you guys what my meal prepping looks like. So this is the curry, chickpeas, and lentil, I guess you want to call it soup, I guess. I know the consistency that I wanted it to be. It's not soupy like soup, but it is a little brothy. But so that's what this is right here, which was so bomb. It came out exactly how I envisioned it would, and it tastes so good. So that's this right here. Don't make fun of my Brussels sprouts. Don't come for me. They're a little Cajun, that's all. I mean, I got a little sidetracked, my bad. But they were still hitting though. The flavor, the taste was still there. So I have here 3 of my containers that I have meal prepped. So this will obviously be my dinner for the next 3 days. So today is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And as I had mentioned in the previous video, we normally don't cook on Fridays. So this is my dinner for the whole week. And basically all I'm gonna do is take my lid, seal it up, and there you have it. This is my meal prepped dinner that I will be having for the rest of the week. Okay, so when we talk about meal prepping, this is what I'm talking about. Get you some of these containers. Like I said, they sell them at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Kroger has them. I mean, literally like almost any onion. Almost any grocery store, any department store, they typically have them. Get you some of these containers, meal prep a meal, and I'm telling you, you're gonna see how much time, money you save, and you're gonna see how it's so much easier for you to stay on track with your goals and not being tempted by temptation. Okay, so I hope this video was super helpful to you. Please let me know if there's any other things that you wanted to see regarding this, regarding meal prepping or anything like that. So the next video that we have coming is going to be creating our own recipes, and that actually is going to be the video of me actually making this curry, chickpea, and lentil soup. So basically this is something that I've created. I did not have a recipe for it. I did not copy a recipe. I did not look up anything. I literally created this on my own. So the next video, when we're talking about creating our own recipes, I'm going to show you guys exactly how I made this. Okay, so until then, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.